Welcome dear students. In this video we are going to discuss about different types of corrosion and the various factors that affect the corrosion. And in my previous video we discussed about the mechanism of corrosion including the chemical and electrochemical corrosion. So here are few of the types of the corrosion we are going to cover, and that are galvanic corrosion, differential aeration corrosion and pitting corrosion. The galvanic corrosion is an example for electrochemical corrosion where two dissimilar metals are in contact with each other and they are in contact with the electrolytic solution. Two dissimilar metals means metals with different oxidation potential values. The one metal with high oxidation potential is considered as an active metal, and the one with less oxidation potential is considered as less active metal. So when such two different metals are in contact with each other, the one with high oxidation potential, or I can say the more active metal, will act as anode and that undergoes corrosion. The other metal which is less active will act as cathode and that metal can be protected. So in the picture you can see this is a metal, two metals are in contact with each other where one is zinc which is more active metal and this copper is acting as a cathode which is less active metal in this combination. So here zinc will act as anode and this copper can act as cathode, and this is in contact with an electrolytic solution, the medium. So here zinc undergoes oxidation, means that loses two electrons and releases Zn plus two ions, and the electrons will move towards the copper, and the electrolytic solution, either the electrolytic solution that contains the positive ions can accept the electron, or else it's just simply the oxygen which is there in the atmosphere or in the electrolytic solution absorbs the electrons, will takes the electrons in presence of moisture. And the best example you can take is uh, even iron body. Any metal body which is made out of iron will be fitted with a stainless steel screws or nuts. And that's the where we are having two different metals in contact with each other, that comes under galvanic corrosion. And we can prevent the corrosion of this metal, more active metal, by just avoiding this combination of coupling the two metals. The second type of corrosion is differential erosion corrosion, or we can call it as a concentration cell corrosion, or even as waterline corrosion. Here we are taking only one metal, and that one metal is under different conditions. A part of metal is exposed to uh, more oxygen, another part is exposing to less oxygen. So that difference in the oxygen exposure makes one of the part act as anode and the other to act as a cathode. Then here in the picture you can see this is a waterline corrosion where consider that this container made out of a metal and water is filled up to this level. So if I consider this metal, which is this part of the metal is exposed to the air and this part is not much in contact with the oxygen. So the part which is less exposed to oxygen can act as anode, and the part which is exposed to uh, air more or oxygen more can act as cathode. So this less oxygenated part will undergo corrosion. Even a nail used and fitted in a wall, and that exposed area can act as cathode, and the area which is inside, which is less exposed to oxygen, can act as anode. This comes under concentration corrosion, where this is also a type of electrochemical corrosion itself. Another type is pitting corrosion. The pitting corrosion results in the formation of a small holes or pits or cavities in the metal, and it just specifically happens because of the uh, protective film cracking. and it results in the formation of a small anode and larger cathode. Here are the pictures so that you can understand the small holes in the metal body. There are various factors which results in the pitting corrosion. It may be the one some of the sometimes the protective film can be removed so that the small part can be exposed to the environment and that corrodes, and it can be avoided by using pure metal, or else we can polish it properly so that we can avoid the pitting corrosion. And even sometimes the stress or the design of the apparatus, whatever it is, maybe also leads to the pitting corrosion. So proper design can also avoid the pitting corrosion. Let's now discuss the various factors that affects the corrosion, that influence the corrosion. And we can majorly categorize that factors into two types, that is nature of metal and the nature of corroding environment. So here the nature of corroding environment includes the environmental conditions where our metal is subjected to. So first we'll discuss the nature of corroding environment and then we'll move on to the nature of the metal. The nature of corroding environment, the first factor is temperature. Temperature, as we know that the rate of reaction, the rate of corrosion will increase as increasing the temperature. So corrosion also increases. Humidity. We have seen that in my previous video when we are comparing the chemical and electrochemical corrosion. Electrochemical corrosion is rapid than chemical. So humidity is the only difference, basic difference between the chemical and electrochemical. That humidity is there along with our metal in the environment, so that the corrosion rate will also be more. An effect of pH. The effect of pH is you can consider acid or base and alkaline. So the metal will undergo more corrosion when the pH is less than 7. Means a metal is in contact with the acid, its corrosion is more than in contact with the base or alkaline. The presence of impurities in the environment. So here the impurities can be suspended or gaseous. If you take suspended impurities, the suspended impurities can act as a barrier, or sorry, can be holding the atmospheric gases, and which may leads to be in contact with our metal surface and may further increase the corrosion rate. Even the gases also, the more amount of impurities are there in the form of carbon dioxide, sulfur oxides, chloride, chlorine, all those may increase the corrosion of our metal. And the nature of ion present in the medium, the nature, here we can take few metals with high conductivity can leads to more corrosion of our metal. If the ions have more conductivity, then obviously the metal will undergo more corrosion. The amount of oxygen in the atmosphere. Oxygen, as the percentage of oxygen increases, the corrosion rate is also increases. The velocity of the ions. Velocity or mobility of the ions more, then the conductivity is also more. Let's move on to the nature of metal. The nature of metal, as we know that the metal's corrosion major cause is metal itself. The metal is unstable, so it try to convert into its stable form, and that is a major cause. Let's see what are the other major factors that influence the corrosion. One is the position in the galvanic series. One must know what is galvanic series is. Various metals are arranged in based on their activity, based on their oxidation potentials. That series is what called galvanic series. And the metals which are above in the series acts as anode, and below in the series can act as cathode. If a metal which is top in the series is connected with the bottommost metal, obviously the potential difference is more and then corrosion rate will be more. In order to avoid corrosion of uh, a particular metal, we should avoid majorly. First, we should avoid the metal contact, two dissimilar metal contact. If there is no chance at all, then we should go for nearby metal whose potential is not much varying with the particular metal, whatever we want to use as a base metal. So the position in the series will affect the corrosion. The position should be means the two metals should be nearby each other so that the potential difference is less, and then we can somehow control the corrosion. We can't say we can avoid, but we can control the corrosion of that particular metal. And next factor is the relative area. Okay, the relative area of anode to cathode. Here there are two concepts. There can be small anode, larger cathode, or small cathode, larger anode, which can facilitate, which can promote the corrosion of a particular metal more is small anode, larger cathode. We should avoid such conditions where small anode is there and larger cathode is there, so that we can control the corrosion, because here the larger cathode requires more number of electron that has to be provided by the small area of anode, so that has to donate more and more number of electrons, nothing but it has to undergo more corrosion. The physical state of metal. Here we need to consider the grain size, texture of the metal. We know that every metal is solid itself, but one metal to the other metal, crystalline arrangement varies and granule grain size will change. If more the exposed area, more will be the corrosion. So the small grain size, then exposed area is more, and then the corrosion is also more. And then purity of the metal. Though the metal is 100% pure, it has corrosion rate as 1. But if the purity is 99.999 percentage, it increases to 130 times. Just with a very minute impurities, the corrosion rate will be enhanced much. So less the impurities, less will be the corrosion. Nature of the surface film. Nature of the surface film means if once a metal exposed to the environment and then a corrosion product is formed on the metal surface, then that metal surface, metal corrosion product layer can act as protective layer or non-protective layer. It just depends on the stability and the stability of that particular product, or else porosity. Whether the layer formed is porous or non-porous, that will affect the corrosion. If the product is stable and adhered to the surface and non-porous, then it acts as a protective layer. If not, it acts as a non-protective layer. Another factor is volume of the surface film. To explain the volume of the surface film, we have a rule called as Pilling-Bedworth rule. And the Pilling-Bedworth rule talks about specific volume ratio, which is the volume of the metal oxide layer to the volume of the metal. If that ratio is equal to 1 or greater than 1, then it can act as a protective layer. If it is less than 1, it can act as a non-protective layer. And the nature of the corrosion products, you can take the solubility of the corrosion product and volatility should be considered for this. So if a corrosion product is formed and the corrosion product, as soon as it formed, it just dissolves in the medium, then it makes our metal to expose to the that particular conditions more, and then it leads to the further corrosion of a metal. In another case, best example is molybdenum trioxide. As soon as it is formed, it just volatile. And if it is volatile, there is no layer on the metal surface. Metal surface is exposed to the environment, and then it undergoes corrosion. So if the corrosion product is soluble, or volatile in the medium, then obviously the metal will undergo further corrosion. Thank you. I'll discuss the corrosion control methods in my next video.